Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Mikel Arteta says Arsenal youngsters' performances have been crazy. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has raved about Bukayo Saka and his performances for the Gunners last season. The North Londoners spent most of last campaign on top of the Premier League table. They were even viewed as the favourites to win it at one point, but Manchester City beat them to it in the end. Saka, who signed a new Arsenal contract recently, was fantastic all season, and Arteta heaped praise on him in an interview with Marca today. There are very few players in the world who are as good as Bukayo Saka at 21 years of age. The Arsenal youngster is one of the best attackers in the Premier League, and his performances for club and country over the last 2 years have been sensational. Saka finished last season with 15 goals and 11 assists for Arsenal in all competitions. He started for England recently as well, scoring a stunning hat-trick against North Macedonia. Arsenal have no plans of letting Saka go, but Marca asked Mikel Arteta if the 21-year-old will cost a minimum of £100 million if clubs were to sign him today. The Spaniard replied, I have no idea. There are the little machines where you enter all the data and variables and they give you the price. Saka is very good and very consistent. His performance and his numbers at 21 are crazy. He is very hungry. He wants to improve and he has an ideal environment to achieve it. If he had to choose something, it would be his ability to win games, and not many have that. If you are just looking at right wingers and you leave Lionel Messi out of the conversation, Arsenal's Bukayo Saka is the best player in that position in the world currently. The Englishman has carried Arsenal on his back for a few years now, and his performances have consistently been sensational for the Gunners. Arteta has played a massive part in Saka's development over the years, and Arsenal fans are convinced he will get even better under the Spaniard in the coming seasons. Mikel Arteta makes Kai Havertz claim amid Arsenal transfer links. Arsenal are reportedly on the verge of signing Kai Havertz this summer, and Mikel Arteta has delivered his verdict on the Chelsea attacker. The Gunners have been very active in this transfer window, with bids going in for Declan Rice, Jurrien Timber, and of course Havertz, who could be a new Arsenal player very soon. Arteta is usually very quiet about his transfer target, but he has surprisingly had his say on Havertz in an interview with Marca today. Many eyebrows were raised when report emerged that Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are interested in signing Kai Havertz from Chelsea this summer. The German international is a fantastic talent, but his time at Chelsea over the last 3 years has been really underwhelming for one reason or another. Nobody really expected Arsenal to even consider signing Havertz, but it looks like a deal to bring the 24-year-old to the Emirates is on the verge of completion. Arteta has now had his say on Havertz. He said, talent comes at a price, and at Arsenal we are always interested in youngsters with experience. I repeat, I am not talking about players from other clubs, but in the case of Kai, he has already shown a lot, including a Champions League. He is a talented player, versatile, and only 24 years of old. If Arteta is publicly talking about a player Arsenal are reportedly trying to sign, a deal must be close. Fabrizio Romano revealed that Havertz will be undergoing a medical this weekend ahead of his big money move from Chelsea to the Emirates. The German may not be the man who Arsenal fans wanted, but Arteta seems convinced that he is good for his side, so Gunners fans should trust him. As things stand, it looks like Havertz will be Arsenal's first signing of the summer. Darren Bent says he couldn't believe it when Arsenal went and signed £30 million player. Darren Bent has suggested that he couldn't believe it when Arsenal signed Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid on a permanent deal in 2021. Mikel Arteta and Edu deserve immense praise for some of the transfers they have pulled off over the last 2 years. Almost every single one of them have been a success, even though they raised money even though they raised many eyebrows when they were first brought in. Kai Havertz is one such a player right now, but Arsenal fans should look at what happened with Odegaard and trust Arteta's plan. Here is what Bent had to say about the same on Talksport. Arsenal were absolutely outstanding last season, and Martin Odegaard was one of their best players. The Gunners' skipper scored 15 goals from midfield, which is an outrageous return. He was absolutely outstanding, and it's just a shame he couldn't lift the Premier League title in the end a couple of years ago. However, after Odegaard completed his loan spell at Arsenal, many pundits came out and claimed that Arsenal should not sign him on a permanent deal. The Norwegian managed just 2 goals and 2 assists in his 6 month spell at the time, and many believed he wasn't the man to take the club to the next level. Now, it's clear that all of them were wrong, and Bent has admitted that. Speaking about the players who exceed expectations, he said, I am hoping it happens to Arsenal that they get Kai Havertz, and I am like, why are you signing him? And all of a sudden, he explodes. Do you know who was one for Arsenal recently? Odegaard. He did okay in his first spell, and they re signed him for, I think, £25 million. I was like, really? Premier League club considering a floating superb midfielder Arsenal want. The latest reports suggest that Amadou Onana could be on the move this summer, and this is a great news for heavily linked Arsenal. It has been reported by Het Newsblad that Arsenal have been in contract with the agents of Onana to try and tempt him away from Everton. Now, News are reporting that Everton are considering selling the player this summer. The apparent reason for this is due to the fact that they need to sell assets to fund their transfer business. The report mentions how Everton need to comply with financial fair play rules, and a sale like Onana would help this. They say that there is interest from Chelsea and Arsenal, and there is a feeling inside the club that he is the most vulnerable to an offer. The superb midfielder has shown his defensive qualities in the Premier League this season. Onana was a great signing for Everton, and he has been one of the few shining lights in the team lately. It's no shock to see him linked with a move to Arsenal. Now that Everton reportedly need to sell him to help FFP, it's the best time for the Gunners to make a move. The Gunners definitely need some more quality in the middle of the pitch, with more fixtures due to the Champions League. They need a solid 25-man squad who can help them compete in all competitions. This seems like a win for all parties. Arsenal get a solid defensive midfielder who would strengthen the team, and Everton can sort out some financial issues. Reports suggest that Everton want around £61.5 million. Also, this is a big amount. Arsenal will need to spend big if they want to continue competing with Manchester City. £100 million star is Arsenal's main backup plan if Declan Rice deal collapses. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move to sign Declan Rice, but if the Englishman moves to Manchester City, the Gunners have Moses Caicedo as their plan B. Mikel Arteta is really keen to strengthen his midfield in this window. Rice, as we all know by now, is the North Londoner's top transfer target, but a deal is proving to be difficult to complete due to Manchester City's interest in the West Ham United skipper. Arsenal would love to sign Rice, but Dean Jones has claimed on Give Me Sport that if a move does not materialize, Edu and Arteta will turn their focus to Brighton star Caicedo. Arsenal are very serious in their pursuit of Declan Rice, so much so that they decided to withdraw their interest in Ecuador international Moses Caicedo a few weeks ago. The Brighton midfielder was the Gunners' top target in January, and they even had 2 bids rejected for him. Many expected him to be on Arsenal's radar again this summer, but Rice is much more of a priority. However, a deal for the West Ham man is a difficult one to complete following Manchester City's arrival in the race to sign him this summer. That's why Arsenal have alternatives in mind, and Jones has claimed that Caicedo is the plan B if they can't beat Pep Guardiola's side to Rice's signature. The journalist said, Arsenal's main backup plan is Caicedo, but the problem is he is rated just as highly as Rice. So if they do miss out on the West Ham man, we'll be looking at another situation where, again, they might not meet the valuation or structuring agreement that Brighton want. The Athletic revealed earlier this month that Brighton are set to demand at least £100 million to let Caicedo go this summer, which is an outrageous sum for a 21-year-old. However, that's what the market is like today, and if Arsenal really want him, they will have to splash the big bucks. Arsenal already know how they want to use a great player close to signing. The latest reports detail how exactly Arsenal are planning on using Jurrien Timber should they successfully sign him this summer. According to 90 Minutes, Arsenal are confident of signing Timber. Talks are continuing with Ajax, and it's likely that they will come to an agreement. Timber is apparently a priority target. The report also detailed how Arsenal plan to use the defender. According to 90 Minutes, they believe Timber can play in a similar fashion to the versatile Zinchenko. The report goes on to say that they would use Timber on the right side of defense and have him mirror Zinchenko. He would also be able to give them the option to use their backline the way the Ukrainian allows them to. Zinchenko was a great signing for Arsenal and was a big reason for them performing so well last season. Timber is highly rated by many. The very great talent who would be a big signing for Arsenal. This is emphasized more due to the fact that clubs like Manchester United also reportedly wanted him. The Premier League has evolved over this last season. We have seen many of the top managers use their defenders in a more versatile position, which sees them come into midfield when needed. We have seen Mikel Arteta already do this with Zinchenko, whilst Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp have seen great performances by using the same tactics on John Stones and Alexander Arnold. If Arteta is able to have two defenders who can play to this style, then it would be a great asset. This emphasizes the need to try and get Timber signed. It looks like they are currently at the front of the chase, and it would take something drastic for this to fall through. Arteta thinks unbelievable player can become a future Arsenal captain. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move to sign Declan Rice this summer, and Mikel Arteta thinks he could become a future Gunners captain if they can get him. The Englishman wears the skipper's armband at West Ham United, and he has done a brilliant job there. He is a real leader, which is a bonus as he is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League as well. Arsenal boss Arteta has clearly noticed that, and the Daily Mail now claim that Rice will immediately get a seat at the Gunners' leadership group table if he joins them. Unai Emery was the man who appointed multiple captains behind the scenes at Arsenal when he was at the helm. The Spaniard named 5 men as a part of the Gunners' leadership group in 2019. Granit Xhaka was the club captain, and he was backed up by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Ozil, Lacazette, and Hector Bellerin. Mikel Arteta has carried that theme forward, and Arsenal's current leadership group includes club captain Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka, and last summer's signing Gabriel Jesus. We think Zinchenko is a part of that too. Now Arteta sees Rice as not just an incredible addition to his team on the pitch, but also as a future captain, so much so that he will be added to the leadership group immediately if he joins the club. The report claims that Rice would be central to Arsenal's rebuild, and Arteta thinks he possesses the driving force to take his young side to the next level in the upcoming season. For that to happen, though, Arsenal have to agree a deal with West Ham to sign him this summer. Declan Rice is absolutely perfect for Arsenal. The unbelievable Englishman checks all the boxes. He is a fantastic footballer, a real leader, fits the profile Arteta usually looks for in a player, and is still only 24 years old. Rice has done all that he can at West Ham, and a big step away this summer is the best thing for him. Manchester City are a very attractive option for obvious reasons, but Arsenal seem to be in the driving seat, and Gunners are praying for this deal to go through in the coming days. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.